Hello, I'm Roseanne Canfora in the CMSD TV studio for Talk to the CEO, a special program where we catch up with CEO Eric Gordon on what's happening in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Today we'll get an update on Say Yes to Education, on the kickoff to the school choice season, and progress in school facilities planning in what has been a very busy first semester for CMSD. Well, thank you, Eric, for taking time out of what probably is one of the busiest times of year for you, gearing up for a holiday break and a second semester. And from what I understand, there's new data out for the class of 2019. And the percentage of CMSD students enrolling in college immediately after graduation is up for the first time in 5 years. Is that Say Yes or what?
That is Say Yes. So we saw a 4% increase in the number of students who are accessing 2-year or 4-year college. We get this from the National Clearinghouse data. Not only is it up 4%, it's up 4% in the first semester. And usually we look at what has happened over the course of an entire year. So we expect the numbers going to continue to increase. Not only that, we learned this week also that 4 of our current seniors received early decisions at their universities, Tufts, the Rochester Institute of Technology, Columbia, and that's because of Say Yes as well. They can accept the financial package and take that early decision. So we're seeing the immediate impact of this scholarship program for our kids.
Well, that new data and those examples probably will have an effect on families choosing CMSD for their high school. And all over the city, I see those proud Say Yes school banners on all of these schools. Now that school choice season is being kicked off, do you anticipate seeing an increase in the number of students that are choosing CMSD for their 4-year high school experience?
I would sure hope so. I mean, the Say Yes scholarship is for any student who lives in the district who attends a CMSD high school from 9th through 12th grade. And it's guaranteed for 25 years. So, you know, that's the equivalent of free college as opposed to paying tuition for high school so that you can pay tuition for college. It is our enrollment and choice season right now. We've kicked it off here in December, and we'll be recruiting through January and February. So there's still time for our 8th grade families to be looking at our high schools and saying yes to education.
And it's not just the scholarships that are a draw for students choosing CMSD. It's also the family supports, and I understand that there's some new supports coming in January. What does that look like? What does that mean for students and families?
Well, we've already put supports into 16 schools. We've got legal clinics available now where if a student or a family is having a struggle, they can take it and get support from an attorney or from the legal profession. We have a planning system that connects our students and families to 3,500 resources in the community. So if you have food scarcity, or if you need eyeglasses, or if you need tutoring, we have access to all of those things. But we're now in January going to be expanding after-school programming in those same 16 schools. That'll kick off in second semester with more clubs and activities in the 16 Say Yes service schools. And we're also in February actually going to start selecting the next 25 schools that will become Say Yes service schools, with the goal of in the next 3 years converting every CMSD school to a service school.
There's certainly a lot of reasons to choose CMSD. And it's not just the scholarships and the family support services too, but some of the new school programs, I understand, are taking into account that not all students are going to go off to college after graduation. Not all of them will be using those Say Yes scholarship dollars to go to a university. How is the high school choice process, as well as Say Yes, accounting for students who desire to move on to work after high school as well?
Well, we know that there are a lot of jobs that still exist that are called opportunity jobs, where a young person can get the job and that job will lead to a family-sustaining wage over time, and that they don't all require a formal 2- or 4-year credential. But what we know about traditional high schools is that once a student has picked their college pathway, we have counselors and support to make sure that they go to college. But once a student may have picked that they're not going that pathway, kind of nothing happens. Right. And so we're working on 3 pieces that solves that problem. One is a pilot that will be kicking off right here in January through May, where we're actually going to counsel existing high school seniors who are not going to formal education into the high-skill, high-demand workforce, working with Ohio Means Jobs and other employers to make sure that our students are accessing those living wage jobs. The second is actually doing a scan of what all of the internships and apprenticeships and learn-to-earn opportunities are out there so that students have more exposure to that job market. And then the third is redesigning our 6th through 12th grade curriculum so that at the point a student chooses that I really don't want to go to a formal education after high school, we have those pathways built out. And all of that work is underway to complement Say Yes. So if you know what you're doing with a 2-year and 4-year degree, you get Say Yes pathway. We want you equally to say, I know what I'm doing and it's not 2 or 4 year, but there's support for me anyway.
So it was just November that the Board of Education approved the recommendations for long-term planning. Where are we in that process? Because that was just the start of a lot of changes that are going to lead to some students moving, transitioning to larger campuses where 2 or 3 programs might merge. What will that look like for students and families, and how are we going to help them through that phase?
Sure. So right before the Thanksgiving recess, the board approved the recommendations for consolidations, closures, and new construction. We've taken the 3 weeks between the Thanksgiving recess and winter recess to really be deliberate in our planning on implementation. And so when we return in second semester, right after the winter recess, we will be kicking off implementation teams, which will include students, parents, and community members that are working around the consolidation of the Glenville campus, the consolidation of the East Tech campus, the Collinwood High School Friends Group, as well as supporting our K-8 school closures and helping our families transition into other K-8 opportunities with schools that are available to them in the region. So we're in the planning process now. We want everybody to have a great, relaxing holiday, and when we come back for second semester, we're not only starting off classes, we're starting off that planning for the 2020-2021 school year as well.
Well, all of those amazing changes for the 2019-20 school year, and we're only at the halfway point now. What are your thoughts about the second half of this year and leading up to the graduation of now the second group of students who will be going off to college and to post-secondary options with Say Yes scholarships and supports behind them? Are you as optimistic about the second semester as you were after you got your great report card news in the fall? Are you optimistic about the rest of the year?
Yeah, I am. So first of all, for me, I can't believe we're already halfway through. Yeah. It goes so quickly. But we are continuing to see achievement gains, and we're seeing it in what kids and adults are doing in our schools. And so every time I visit a school, I get to see our students working on complex academic tasks that are age appropriate for them. They're demonstrating their learning authentically. They're publishing documents. They're presenting. They're doing a number of other things, projects, those sorts of things, and they're having fun. And that's where learning is going to occur. That's what's going on inside of our classroom. So I'm really excited about the semester ahead.
Well, with all of those changes, all of that good news and all that optimism, I'm sure you're really looking forward to this holiday break. When will families come back to CMSD, and how important is this break even for them?
So most of our families are back Tuesday, January 7th, this first day of the second semester. We have Monday off for staff professional development. So I hope everybody has a tremendous holiday, a happy new year, gets rest, has joy, and we'll see everybody in the new year.
Thank you, Eric, for your time in this very, very busy, almost holiday season.
Thank you.
That's it for today. Thank you for watching Talk to the CEO. For information on these and other updates, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news.